Hey, it's Tim Guitar, and today I'm excited to talk about a new mini-series that I'm going to put together. I have a new guitar that I've been working on. It's actually the first electric guitar that I've ever owned. It's a Squier Standard Strat, and this has now become the test bed or test guitar that I'll be using for the rest of this series. And what I want to do is test out different concepts. What happens if you run your pickups parallel with your strings? What happens if you fill up an entire cavity with pickups? I really want to kind of dissect some of these concepts that maybe are misunderstood. Maybe I'm misunderstanding them. I want to put these thoughts and maybe misconceptions that I've had in my head into a guitar, into a practical use, and play them, record them, analyze the sound and the settings. So here's the new guitar. This is a Squier Standard Strat. This was the first electric guitar that I ever purchased back in college. And you can see, well, it used to be a nice sunburst finish. And I've done a poor job of actually sanding this thing down over the years. And that's probably the reason why I never actually used this. This guitar is sort of like the sacrificial lamb now. This is the test Strat that I'll be using in the future videos. The pickup cavity has been routed completely out. I've completely removed any tone or volume knobs, and the pickups are wired directly to the output jack. The reason I'm doing that, and I don't necessarily recommend it for everybody, but I have a volume pedal on my board, and that really is how I actuate or adjust any volume control when I'm playing. I'm deciding to just take that out for simplicity of changing out all these pickups. I don't want to ruin any volume pots or anything like that. So that's why I've done this way. What else? I have turned this from a floating bridge. You can see here, it used to be a floating bridge cavity. Now it's a hardtail. Yes, I did just bolt it right into the back of the body there. And again, for simplicity and ease of use, for the test guitar, I wanted something that was going to be as easy as possible when changing different pickup combinations and trying different things. The pickups on this guitar are the Seymour Duncan SJBJ pickups. They're all the same. They're the bridge model. So as far as sound goes and output, these are all the same. So we should have a fairly even sound, and however it sounds should sound fairly even because they're three of the same things. So without further ado, let's get this plugged in and let's hear what it sounds like when you run your pickups vertically. It is picking up things, certain notes like the low E here, really like bassy and really harsh. Everything is sounding much harsher this way. Even just like I'll strum through the strings right now, you'll be able to pick it out yourself. So far, I'm not overly impressed with the way this is sounding. Let's click on the Rev G3 distortion pedal. Well, let's hear how it sounds with some distortion. Here's clean. to be having any issues being heavy and chunky, except it is still a bit brighter, maybe a bit too much brightness with the pickups this way. I don't really know how to explain it. Maybe it's sounding like it's out of phase. I don't know, but I don't think that the pickup can really tell which direction it's being oriented in. So I wouldn't have thought that having your pickups mounted this way would have done or would have provided that different of a sound. But to me, you are getting a very brittle and very harsh tone from your guitar. So again, that combined with the fact that your pick hits the pickups nearly every downstroke that you're playing really makes this something you wouldn't want to do. I'm going to go switch these pickups around to their normal orientation, which would be perpendicular to the strings, and I'll come back and do some more jamming and some more riffs with the pickups set the way that they should be set in the guitar, and I'll come back and analyze all of that. Alright, I'm back for part two. Part two is running the same pickups, the Seymour Duncan SJBJ pickups, in the same guitar, no volume pot, no anything. Running them in the orientation that they're meant to be, which is perpendicular to the strings. So horizontally, I guess, in this example here. And I have all three of them, again, wired directly to the output jack. Already I can tell a pretty big difference in just the fact that these are picking up all of the string, and the ring outs very evenly. So there's no like really sharp notes, there's no missing notes. Definitely it's already sounding a lot better. Let's keep going. I forgot to plug in the decibel. Let's hear how it sounds with the Rev G3. Coming in hot. I think that pretty much sums up the entire experiment here. Is it better to have your pickups vertically mounted, or is it better to have them mounted perpendicular to the strings? And I think everybody can agree here that it's best to have your pickups mounted perpendicular to the strings like you see here. There's a reason for it. There's a reason why every single guitar is doing it. Now sometimes you see them angled slightly, but nothing parallel with the strings. That's a bit extreme, and I don't think pickups are wound to actually be used in that sense. In summary, I think there's a really big difference in the way the pickups sounded in the two examples I showed. One parallel with the strings and the second perpendicular to the strings. Parallel to the strings was really brittle and very harsh and sharp sounding. Didn't pick up all of the strings. Now, what I found interesting is that even though the pickups were mounted parallel with the string, I still had 6 pole pieces under each string. And when I look at the pickups as they're mounted perpendicularly, there's still 6 pole pieces under every string. So if a humbucker is technically just 2 single coil pickups together, and typically the pole pieces and the way everything's wound in a pickup, you don't have anything different per pole piece. So you have the same magnet, you have the same coil being wound around the entire thing, so there shouldn't be much difference in the way that the pickup would be mounted. So if I have 6 pole pieces in this orientation and I had 6 pole pieces under each string in the other, I'm really curious to why I didn't get more of a uniform sound out of either configuration. Because if I would have just, you know, let's say I put all 3 of the pickups together, right? I've got 6 this way or I've got 6 this way. It wouldn't really matter, right? So if I took this entire grouping of pickups and just rotated it basically like I did, why wouldn't I have got more similar of a sound? And I don't know. I really don't know. But looking back in, just conclusion of the video, I'm still a little bit interested in finding out more of why we wouldn't have achieved a similar sound. Maybe somebody that watches this can comment on why that is, or maybe somebody knows somebody that might be able to answer that. Well, I hope you enjoyed this episode of Test Guitar. I do have some more episodes coming up, like what happens if you completely fill the cavity full of pickups. And I'm going to work on that. So putting as many pickups in here as I can, wired directly to the output jack, no volume or tone again, and hearing how that sounds compared to, let's say, just a single pickup that's in here. And that'll be the next one, where I compare lots of pickups versus the sound of just one of the pickups in a future video. I'm Tim Guitar. Thanks again for watching, and leave some comments below if you do have any input on maybe why this would sound different, and or if there's any questions or anything you would like to see tested in the Test Guitar. Leave it down in a comment below. Like, comment, and subscribe if you can. That'll help me out, and I'll keep making more videos. Thanks for watching. I'll talk to you next time.